Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
TGIF. It is Friday, right?
Oh, yeah.
Check. Is this thing on? I know you hear me. Is it Friday? Is it? Come
We
on
coming
in.
in like doing it from the 99 and 2000.
All right.
First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey,
That's how we coming.
check 1 2 1 2.
Check. This thing on? Are we on?
You live at 85?
Believe so.
Right on, right on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's a fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Buddi3 Da Gawd, Paul B, all you Chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, March 8th, 2024.
Yeah, man.
Weekend coming. And
Coming at you.
yeah, man, kind of excited about it actually.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm starting to try to take my weekends back. You know what I mean?
There you go. Weekend
Even,
warrior.
even though I'll be working all through this one, but
Yeah.
in principle, I'll be taking my weekends back.
There you go. In spirit.
In spirit.
Man, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm tired, a little tired, but I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm here.
A lot of tired, boss. A lot of tired on this side.
Yeah, you've been sessioning and stuff at night, so that's what's up though.
Yeah. Just, striking the find a balance, but yeah, getting back into the flow of things creatively, which is exciting.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what's happening.
Yeah. Kind of spring is coming forth, so it's a creative energy.
I wish it was coming forth here in Nebraska. We getting snow today.
Really? Ugh.
Yeah, I hate to
Maybe.
cuss at you so early in the morning, but
Yeah, man. You gotta take it easy, man. Maybe I was wrong about that whole March theory, man. I thought you get to March, you should be good.
nah, man, ugly, ugly today. Not happy about it. So I'm taking Tamika Johnson's Sunshine right now just to
Hey,
change
yeah,
my mental.
yeah, man. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it. Thank you, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man. Pop says, good Friday morning, First Guy, and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you,
Hey,
Pops. Leia Keister in the chat. Fry yay, yippee, yo, yay, yippee, yay. She
okay,
took it easy on us today.
okay. I didn't. Okay, I'm glad you thought that was easy. I
Yeah,
was
it's
like, Paul. Hey,
usually a couple lines, but
yeah. That's true. That's true. At any rate, happy Friday to you.
yep. Mama God says, good morning, First Guy fam. Good morning to you. Kimber Snipes in the chat. Good morning, y'all. Jake Carter says, happy Friday. Everybody happy
Hey,
Friday.
yeah. How y'all doing? Y'all got any plans for the weekend? It is Friday. Let us know what's happening in your world.
Yeah. Well, we'll try again to have an extensive haps. Talk
Yeah,
about some things that's going on this weekend.
yeah, man.
But we definitely got lots to talk about today. And a special guest coming in the house. We got Donald Curry coming on through. If you
Hey,
remember him from a story last week, he was the one that kind of reached out to the community about some development that he was doing. Did some real estate, bought some land from the land bank. We get to hear the whole story. So shout out to Don Curry for coming on.
man.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
I'm actually excited about that, man. Thinking back to the land bank story that we did with the reader, and just kind of really learning about the land bank and paying attention. It really was a kind of an APB. I was like, man, has anybody ever gotten any kind of land from the like? Show me one success story.
From the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? For
Right,
real.
right. So,
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to that conversation, man, and also, looking forward to speaking with all of you here on this Friday. So thanks for coming in again. Let us know, how you feeling. How's it going in your world?
Yep.
So our sister Kimber and her pictures from the adult prom. I see you.
Looking fly.
Yeah. All smiles. It looked like it was a good time. Let us know, who threw that. I'm still kind of was looking for that. Who put that together?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's one of the best parties I ever threw. Like when I had a series of adult proms going in Hawaii and stuff, man. It was
Okay.
some of the best ones because I don't know. It's nostalgic slash classy. You get to dress up.
Mhm.
You get to relive some things. You get to do something over. Then you
Yeah, yeah. I do hear that, people who may not have gone to their high school prom kind of being able to kind of get a second chance at reclaiming a feeling and things like that.
not to mention, you know what the music gonna be. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. The
music is
vibes, the
yeah.
vibes.
DJing a adult prom is the funnest, especially
Man,
if it's your
man.
age group.
I mean, so as I'm getting older, it is weird. Like I'm quickly approaching my 10-year anniversary for college. My 10-year anniversary for high school already passed.
Mm.
Um, and you just look up like, man, it's been 10 years. Were you ever a type to like go to those types of things? You still in touch with high school buddies and things like that?
Not really, man. Not really. I only talked to maybe 3 or 4 people from high school still. I moved around a lot, so I never went back to the reunions and all that. So not too much for me. And I didn't really do much. Maybe that's why the adult proms is so fun for me too, because I never really even went to the prom in the first place. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But it's pretty interesting. It's more the adult proms to me are like more like movies than they are actual, high school kind of
Mm,
recreation of a high school event. It's kind of like what you imagine it should have been, and you get to redo it. You know what I'm saying?
okay. Do
Something
it
like
right. Do it right.
that. Yep, yep. Kimber says, "Hey, it was a MCSC thing. It's officially biker season. Hey,
Okay,
that's
okay.
what's up,
Social clubs, motor bike
man.
clubs.
That's a great idea for a bike club, social club to do an adult prom. That's dope.
Yeah.
Love it." Miss Erica Felton in the chat says, "Good morning. There's actual ice on my steps. Drive safety. Drive safety."
Mm.
Yeah, she's not happy about it either. Mad face. I don't blame you. Yep,
Yeah,
it's
be
gonna be a
careful
cold
now.
one today, but we're gonna warm it up in here with a
Hey,
fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
It's kind of a space is the place housing edition today.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, yeah, we'll be talking to, like I said, Don Curry's coming in, special guest. Stay tuned for that. Let's get the show started and get rolling.
Hey, let's start the show.
Hey, hey. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Once again, you're listening to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost
Hey.
listeners, radio listeners, how y'all doing today? Radio 630 Club 630. Let us know how the mix was this morning. If you're in with us, appreciate that. It is Friday,
Yeah.
March 8th, 2024. It is Friday. So everybody's kind of excited about it being Friday. What's your plans for the weekend? You know how we try to do on Friday, try to have an extensive haps. So get your haps together and ready. Let us know what's
Yeah,
going on
man.
this weekend. Anything good, anything we're supposed to go to or anything fun to go to. We definitely got a few things happening this weekend coming up, so look forward to that. Miss Erica Feld cracking me up. She said the adult prom was very similar to high school prom. I still had no date. Man,
No, that's Cameron that said that.
oh, Kimber said that. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's up. Miss Erica Feld says my middle school boyfriend still has monthly gatherings for the middle school class. Oh, really? I love it. 45 years later. Wow.
Mm.
Middle school.
Monthly. Jeez. Okay.
He diligent keeping up with. I'm trying to think of who I even know from middle school anymore.
Man. 45 years later, man.
Monthly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder what those numbers are. Like, if people go, like, is that a thing?
I mean, hey, if he's doing it monthly, it must be.
45 years later, like,
Wow.
man, that's dedication.
Yeah, that's I don't know how you do that. Is that I know people move away and stuff like that. So what, they just come back for it? I mean, this
Man.
is Omaha, man. You know, we do Omaha days every 2 years. People move away and come back for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Man.
Tamika Johnson in the chat says going to my 25th college reunion in May. At Fisk. That's what's up.
Okay, okay. Fisk, is that a HBCU? Fisk?
Yeah, good question. Kimber Snipe says, my club's theme this summer is a night in Paris. Y'all went all out on the prom.
Man, man, that's hilarious to me though, because that was the that was the theme of my prom back in high school.
Prom theme all the way from the 50s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Night in Paris had the cardboard Eiffel Tower and things like that. Yeah, the whole spiel, the whole spiel.
Might be the closest any of us get to Paris. You never know.
Man, I don't know, man. You think a night in Paris, but I actually hear Paris is not nearly as nice as people would think. Like
No, it's not.
bed bugs, really bad bed bugs.
I mean, that's that's the tower across the street right now. So
Man, hey, you want a night in Paris? There you go. No, we'll definitely be getting into that here in a bit. But yes. Yeah, night in Paris.
shout out. Marlon Harrison says, "Good morning, First Guy fam. It's snowing and the kids got spring break next week."
Mm.
Marlon Harrison, you come in here cussing at us early in the morning with that S word. I don't want to hear it. Although I did say it first. Anthony Rogers Wright says, yes, it's an HBCU. That's what's up.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, like one of the first HBCUs. Let me know. I'm trying to, on my HBCU trivia.
Yeah, that's what's up. Miss Erica Phelps says, they have breakfast and they have dance club events. Usually 5 to 20 people show up. It's in Portland. We had a gang changing middle school, and the black community then was tight. Man, monthly for 45 years. I don't know what I've done every month for 45 years. That's insane.
And 5 to 20 people show up. They have breakfast, cutting a
that's
little
dope.
rug.
I like it.
Okay.
I
Man.
like it. Yeah, I'm with that. I would come back to, if somebody was doing something like that, I might not make every month.
You check it out.
I might not even make every year, but I definitely would tap back in if they was doing it like that.
Okay. I will say she did mention it's in Portland. I'm trying to what else is there to do in Portland?
Oh man, Portland, are you coming from Omaha asking that question? There's a whole bunch to do in Portland. Portland is off the chain. But I will say people, I can imagine like it's like a thing that Omaha, well, within the white community anyway, Omaha white kids always are like, I hate Omaha, I'm leaving, I'm going to Portland. And Portland, Portland's always like going off. And I don't know how many people come back from that. Like Portland's kind of the spot a little bit. Know what I mean?
Not a lot of us in Portland is what I'm hearing.
I don't know, bro.
I never been. I don't know.
I go, that's all I hang with. So, hey.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they say that about Omaha. That's what I'm saying. You from Omaha talking that. They still don't know if there's black folks in Omaha. So
That's true. I do. Hey, brother Sharif ain't here in Portland. Ain't that where they at?
Brother Sharif in Portland right now.
Yeah.
And they blacking and join up big time over there.
Actually, yeah. Remember that DAP video we saw that was in Portland? Yeah. Okay. I leave Portland alone, man.
Got enough black folks to do a whole DAP movie. Give me some walking down the street dapping black folks. Come on, man. You better get off the West Coast around here, especially while it's snowing out here in your
Oh man. Okay, I forgot. From the West with love.
That's what's up. Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado is in the chat and looking good this morning, like Paul's do. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say that. I did notice. Got the fresh retwist, got cleaned up, looking nice.
Yeah. Thank you. It feels good. It always feels good to get yourself cleaned up. She wanted to try some barrels this time around, so I was like, let's go ahead and check it out. I don't know how I feel about it, but man, hey, try something new. That's what's up. We it's a Friday, man. We over here just Fridaying it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Miss Erica felt on my neck says, I want my hat back. Now I'm rocking that. It's a part of the collection.
See what happened? You start talking about Portland all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Don't make some folks mad around her. If you guys are just joining us, we got special guest Donald Curry coming in. I'm really anxious to talk to him because, like you said, man, success story about buying some land from the land bank. Number one.
Oh yeah.
Number two, I like what he's bringing. He built what they call in New York and LA a walk up. So he's got like a 3-story building, and each story is a a different apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and those apartments are a third of the prices of all the new apartments going up around here too. So you know, you can
Man.
have that argument about whether or not it's affordable.
Well,
And
is it a third of the price, or are you getting triple the space?
um, well, I guess what's the difference?
So a third of a price means
You
it's
can
like
you
you
getting
getting
triple
triple
the
the
space.
space. You getting triple the space. A
But if
third
it
of the
was
price would be cheaper.
but if it was a one bedroom, it'd be a third of what the one bedrooms are out here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
was thinking about it. You know.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, we'll definitely get the details when we had a brother on. Looking forward to that conversation, man.
Yeah.
Again, if you remember, Omaha Rockets Canteen was open there on the Deuce for some time. I don't remember. Did any other restaurants open up after that? Was
Yeah, there were some people. There were some restaurants in there, and I believe Willie Barney and his wife uh, own the place, and they're doing some food out of there now.
okay.
I
So
took
there's still
that.
some grub
Yeah,
out there. Okay.
yeah. I think there might be some grub out there still, and I also know that it was a kind of a kitchen that you can, if you had some kind of food business and you need a commercial kitchen, you could use it. But
Mm.
I don't think they're doing that anymore now that Brother Barney and them moved in. I have to. This is just stuff I heard. I gotta talk to them about what's going on over there. Because you know, we're always looking for what to eat over there on the Deuce, especially.
Man.
It's kind of a food desert a little bit. You
A
got
little bit, a little bit. Would like to
yeah,
see something happen with Skeets as well. Not sure what's going on with
mm,
that, but yeah,
fair deal
something.
though. Fair deal goes down. They got some
Yeah, oh
good
yeah,
food over
oh yeah.
there. Yep, yep. Kimmer says meet us at Stuffed Olive from 3 to 5 today. Celebrate Whitney's birthday.
Okay,
I thought it was a private exclusive event. You didn't broadcast it. I would have put a flyer out if I knew everybody can come.
man, she just
Yeah,
blasted, put it on Front Street.
she's sneaking me all these little texts. Meet us over there like it's a secret. Ain't no secret. So I don't even know what the stuffed olive is. I have to look that up. I definitely have
Yeah,
not
yeah.
been there. Yep.
Where is that?
Kimber says Snipe says Revive Center has brunch every second and fourth Sunday. Okay. Brunch. Interesting. Okay. So they do got food over there.
There you go, Paul.
What's that?
Food, a plate,
Brunch?
a plate.
They didn't say it was free. They free. I gotta go,
Oh, okay.
gotta go buy it.
That's a good point.
I'm trying to get that free plate. You're from the poor, hungry, poor hungry bachelor over here by himself, trying to get by,
Please,
trying
please.
not to go to McDonald's. Kimber says from noon to 3. I use that as time to get Willie's ear. Good time to go get Willie's ear. Okay, nah,
Okay.
I
Break
like
some bread, talk some business,
I like that idea.
but it's
Speaking of
not
talking
free.
some business, man, what are we talking about today? What's going on?
Man, actually, we you know we was joking about Oregon a little bit ago, but I did have a question, man. One of the chat chimers dropped this on us, looking at this needle exchange
Mm,
bill, and yeah, on a serious note, man, Oregon, if you remember, a couple years ago, made headlines, man, by legalizing drugs.
mm-hmm,
If you remember that, and I'm kind of curious, like a couple years in, how has that gone?
mm-hmm.
You know, what
Was
is
it
the response to that?
was it Oregon or was it Seattle? Or was it
I
Washington?
want to say Oregon. I want to say Oregon.
Mm.
Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I believe it was Oregon. But I am curious about what that is a radical move. I wonder what impact that has. But we'll definitely get into this as one of the chat chambers share some public or some excuse me some personal stories about about a relative's drug addiction. And so yeah, wanted to
Mhm.
spend time to talk about this. Always appreciate when chat chimers share personal stories and
Right.
anecdotes and things like that. So yeah, there's a bill that actually passed. This is from Megan Hunt, that deals with allowing individuals to get clean needles and be able to actually engage with pharmacies and health professionals when dealing with needles, a needle exchange, and apparently Ellen Pillin vetoed it. And again, individuals, chat chimer is actually calling for reversal of that decision. So I just want to kind of talk about that bill. And again, if anybody has any information about the situation in Oregon, I would definitely love to hear about that. What was that kind of social experiment, if you will? Oh, how's that going?
Yeah.
Also, we'll definitely be getting into this OHA situation. A lot of chat chimers also have something to say about that. A lot of actually comments on Friends Up, so I urge you to go there where the conversation continues. But OHA CEO, there we go, Joni Poor has chimed up and responding to the meeting that went down on Monday, and apparently a lot of people not happy with what she had to say. I'm personally kind of confused, so yeah, we'll dive into exactly what is being said and what they mean really. Also, as Paul mentioned, we got some housing stories to dive into. Looking forward to our conversation with Brother Don Curry. But also, Omaha City Council updated the story that we've been looking at as far as the in-law suites, the ADU accessory dwelling units. Looks like that will actually be moving forward in Omaha. And I know some of you were actually interested in some of that stuff. Again, getting some properties and getting some expansion to your properties. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. Housing a little bit. So again, if there's anything happening in your worlds, anything in your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your minds be free. Let your voices be heard. Also reminding people we are still pushing forward on the search for Brother Levi Blake using the hashtag Where's Mr. Levi Blake. There's also some updates with that as well. So again, a lot of things to get into, man. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Join the conversation. In the meantime, between time, Paul B. What's
Yep.
the
Yep.
word, man?
Man, in the chat, Anthony Rogers Wright says it's not going great. Talking about the legalizing of drugs. He says, but that's because it was not implemented well.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Biserica Fell says California has had a needle exchange, which is nothing like decriminalizing narcotics. Needle exchange saves lives in the Bay.
Mm.
That's what I'm confused about. I'm confused about why they would get on there and say it's not of an effective thing when there's evidence all over a whole bunch of cities that it is effective. Why the fake news? I don't get it. This is
Mm.
already something we've already seen and studied, and it's proven in other places. So, where they got their data that it doesn't work is crazy to me. Kimber Snipes says that it's still not addressing the addiction issue. It's preventing use of dirty needles, but when do we address the actual problem? Yeah,
The
well,
fish or the pond.
I think it's the beginning of the actual problem. I think it's the beginning of that because there's it's not just about clean needles. It's about spreading of infectious diseases and all the things. It's about the culture. It's about the culture of it. It's getting people to a place that they might be able to get some help. They're not just offering needles; they're offering help. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot
Hmm.
to it. She says Pillin voted it because f people. That's his campaign slogan.
Yep.
That's funny.
It's not for
Chris,
everybody.
Christy Norris says, "Good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate it." Kimmer says they should have written in being able to get Narcan too, right? With all the
Hmm.
fentanyl stuff going on, they should be able to. Uh,
Hmm.
they should be get Narcan. Narcan should be way more accessible. So, Brother Pena gives us a good morning. Good morning. Anthony Rogers Rice says addiction cannot be solved by a war on drugs and addiction. He ain't lying. Brother Pena says bloodborne pathogens interesting. Kimber says, so if it's the beginning of addressing the problem, how far are these other states was actually addressing addiction? And by the way, I'm for the needle bill. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, my example is the same as Mr. Fells, California, where I know people personally who lives got saved, and then when they kept going back to get their needles, they would I feel like they'd been dead by now, but they kept going back, and then they finally decided, okay, I'll take what you guys are offering as far as helping me get off the thing in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
just get them in the door, man. People that are using needles for drugs ain't necessarily coming out to public places to get the message. So it
Mm.
kind of brings them out. There's just one thing to it. It brings them out, but it's interesting. Mr. Erica says needle exchanges aren't about addiction. It prevents hepatitis and AIDS while having an opportunity to give outreach. That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah,
say. Outreach.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Man, I'll be honest. I was not expecting a lot of you to have this much to say about it, about this topic. But let's go ahead and dive into it, man.
Oh,
Again, I appreciate the comments. And again, this was brought to our attention from one of the chat chimers who's actually featured in this article. Again, speaking about the addiction of a family member and the battle that they're having, and saying that this bill could save lives. Again, something that apparently a lot of you would agree with. This again coming out of Kate. See, Channel 8. I'm not seeing exactly where this is. KLKN TV, I believe Kearney, Nebraska. Or no, this is Lincoln. KLKN. Not familiar with that outlet, but again, this is from Channel 8 in Lincoln. A Nebraskan is speaking out against Governor Pillen's veto of a bill that will provide clean needles to drug users. Again, this is Senator Megan Hunt's bill, and it did pass in the legislature, but it stopped at Governor Pillen's desk. He said that he vetoed it as soon as it hit his desk. LB 307 is the number. So if anyone taking notes out there, again, that's LB 307, would allow pharmacies and local public health programs to offer syringe service programs. And as Miss Erica Felt just mentioned, the goal is to stop the spread of diseases like HIV. Mark Welsh of Omaha, again, who's a chat chimer who brought this to our attention, says that he has a relative who deals with addiction. And he said that part of the reason he's in support of the bill, saying my family member that is a heroin addict had told me a couple years ago that these kind of needle exchanges were saving people's lives in other states where they're allowed. So, to Paul's point, there kind of goes some of the evidence. Word on the street, at least, is that this is saving lives. The pharmacy or health program will also hand out educational materials and give referrals to mental health and substance abuse treatment. Wells believes that will make the biggest difference as far as the dissemination of information. He went on to say people that are addicted to heroin and other drugs are going to use drugs, whether they have clean needles or dirty needles. It will save lives by putting these drug addicts in touch with health professionals as they get their clean needles. That will give them a chance to be talked with about how they can get off that addiction. But again, in a column on Tuesday, Pillen said the bill would enable drug users, saying, if that sounds crazy to you, let me assure you that you're not alone. I veto LB 307 as soon as it reached my desk. The bill has no age minimum for who can receive needles, which Pillen said encourages minors to abuse drugs. Also, Hunt said that Pillen is fear mongering and that no medical professional will hand out syringes to young children. So, again, I'm kind of hearing echoes of Ricketts with the marijuana will kill the kids. You remember that whole debacle?
The reasoning is just incredible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I definitely think it's a very reasonable statement to say that, to assume that pharmacists won't be handing out needles to kids. I mean,
it just is just to be fundamentally against a thing because without having no information, like bring me the data, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Anthony Rogers Wright says that when we admit the biggest drug dealers in our cities are Walgreens and CVS, as well as Big Pharma, we'll be ready to start having real conversation about addiction for real.
Okay, there you go.
Brother Pena says prevents diseases. Tired of Republican governorship. Me too. I'm just like, how do you even reason with such an unreasonable approach? Where's your data? Where's your data? I don't get it. Why would who's gonna start taking heroin because you get free needles?
Hey man, I heard they giving out heroin at Walgreens. Yo, better line up.
Got the hookup.
All right.
Come on, man. I just don't get it, man.
It's a great point, Paul. It's a great point.
Hearing that, people, if you're addicted to heroin, if you know anything about any kind of addiction, if you know anything about being addicted to heroin, which I can't imagine he doesn't know, somebody in his family has been on some heroin, then it's an addiction. They're gonna find a needle where they're gonna find a needle, bro. You don't get it, but it doesn't. But it doesn't matter if heroin addictions catch AIDS and hepatitis. Don't matter.
Kind of the real root of it,
Like Miss Erica Fell says, because F people.
You gotta change. Yeah, there you go. Drop the mic. You gotta change your perspective on, are these people criminals?
Good question. Yeah. Anyway.
I guess this also, as we get our civic lesson, brings up the question: what can be done about a governor veto? Is that once the governor vetoes a bill, is that it?
No, there. So I read that they're fighting. They're going to go back and try to get. There's a certain amount of votes they can go get now to override a veto, and that's what Megan Hunt is working on now. So
Okay, kind of
see
just
how
lost
that
the
turns
article.
out.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay. I'll see if it laid out anything in the article, but it doesn't state what
Not
the
that
next move is. But
one. Mhm.
okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it says Hunt has filed an override for the veto, so she needs 30 votes.
There you go. 30 votes.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like she'll get that. Again, it already passed in the legislature, so and this is, with the opioid pandemic or epidemic, this is something that kind of crosses the line, if you will, as far as bipartisanship. Like this, as you said, regardless if you're Republican or Democrat, addiction is something that impacts just about everybody.
Yeah. Especially nowadays when the drug is from the pharmacy more than the
Right,
street.
right. So
Yeah. Moving on. Appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate
Appreciate
everybody's
all the
comment on that.
comments on that. Yeah.
Ron's review says drugs have four things in common: one, all man made; two, all addictive; three, you can OD; and four, it takes another drug to kick a drug habit.
Hmm.
Interesting facts.
Interesting facts, indeed, indeed. But also, big shout out to that chat chimer who brought this to our attention. Again, that's why we call you our co-host. We appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Anthony Rogers Wright is asking, are we going to talk about Biden's State of the Union and how he and the Democrats just declared war on black, poor, and working people? That's kind of a leading question you're asking me there. I
Man,
don't, I don't know, I don't know if we're going to talk too much about his State of the Union address. Kind of wasn't top of the agenda today. I mean,
nah,
we can mention it. He said some things.
I
Like I
didn't
said,
catch it. It
you
wasn't on my radar, to be honest. So, old Sleepy Joe, what'd he say?
you pulled that he's declaring war on black and poor and working people. Yeah, I definitely think that there's some problems there with some of the stuff. Like I said, man, we weren't really gonna get into this because it's just you know, like I would love to hear what you had to say about it. I would love to bring Precious on to hear what she has to say about it. It's important enough. I don't know how many people caught the State of the Union address. We gonna tackle what's going on in our community first, and come back. I mean, there's so much to unpack when it comes to what Biden is doing and what Trump is doing and
Mm.
how that is laying out in Omaha. We kind of got to approach that a way. So I kind of wanted to dig in a little bit deeper first, listen to it in its entirety, see how is really affecting us. But yeah, if you already grabbed for a Democrats declared war on black, poor, and working people, like to hear more about that for sure. Let's
Yeah.
listen. Let's check it out.
What say you? Guillermo
Let's
Pena
see.
says he was feisty, caliente.
Old Joe, smoking Joe.
Old Sleepy Joe was up this time, huh?
Yeah, man. Reggie Miller Jenkins in the chat says I couldn't watch it after he did the Zoom with all the fake TV presidents to ask what to say last night. Anthony Rogers Rice says increased law enforcement money. I mean, isn't that the MO? This the three strikes party, bro. He said lied about the racial wealth gap. Sure did. I did. Yeah, that one right there kind of got me right there. The wealth
Paul, like,
gap.
yeah, I do remember that part. Yeah,
The,
yeah.
the wealth gap is as low as it's ever been. Whatever crazy thing he
Yeah.
said, like what?
Hmm.
You know what what I will say about this is that I heard some of the Republican talking points after that, and he was talking so crazy. The Republicans sounded more reasonable.
Oh man.
They were like, the wealth gap is huge. It was
But again, that's when we talk about why we're hearing black people so called supporting Republicans and switching to the Republican side is because the economics. They like, hey, they actually helping us get money. They not saying we got. They don't think we have it.
it's not just the economics because there's a lot that Joe Biden has done in his time here when it comes to infrastructure, economics, and so on and so forth. No, it didn't trickle down like it was supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not just about economics that I feel like people are really gravitating to the Republican Party these days. It's a lot of other stuff, man. Like I said, it's to me it gets to like beyond the scope of what we be trying to talk about here. Like that
A little
that
bit.
might be we might have to have a special national presidential show and
Hmm.
and kind of break down, what where everybody's at on that, because that it is election season. It is something to talk about. I feel like the presidential election kind of carries itself. What we don't be concentrating on is local politics, judges, and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'd be trying to make this, have us concentrate on some of that, because you already know if you're gonna vote for Biden or Trump. So we could talk about it all we want to, but again, is anybody working on trying to sway all that right now?
Right. And also, yeah, it just matters more. Like you can, regardless of whether Biden or Trump is in there, your state can go along with it, or your state can, be against a lot of the moves. So
Or
yeah, yeah. Let's focus on the state. It's a good point. It's a good point.
just saying. Anthony Rogers Wright says, "Me and Precious can start doing a monthly national politics show in First Sky, Yin and Yang State of the Union." With it, I'm with
Now
it.
that's an idea.
I'm with that.
That is an idea. You
Yeah,
might need to put a pin in that one. Put a pin in that one.
yeah.
Speaking of put a pin in things, I did want to go back to Miss Erica Phelps' comment real quick. It's a good point. It's a good point. I like her strategy in this. She says, I'll be looking at the fact checkers today. I don't really study the State of Union until the next day when I can see what was true and what was false in it. So you kind of
Right.
keep a clean mind so you're not, maybe influenced by how they're putting things.
That's what all I was really trying to say is, like, at this point it'd just be an emotional reactionary
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I kind of want to like dig in before
Because
we
they're
start.
gonna say what they're gonna say, but you put the political spin on it. But
Yeah,
what's really what?
but that whole, like, the wealth gap thing, that did throw me a little bit. That made me be like, say what? I'm turning it. I can't even watch the rest of this now.
Oh man, yeah. See, I didn't even catch it. I didn't even catch it. So I'm with Miss Erica Feld. I'm gonna have to go back and you know check the receipts.
Anthony, Anthony Rogers Wright said, who will be the ref though? That's a good question. But
Hmm.
you might have to ref that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I might. I might. I was thinking about that. I might. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Is that something y'all would check out, y'all?
We've been talking about having to figure it out. Yeah, I think you just figured it out for us. I
Yeah.
think that might be the thing to do. We're talking about having that in a couple of different kind of round tables too, because we really want to dig in on this side of things. Tony Johnson says, which is why it's counterproductive for Nebraska Democrats to only talk about the presidency and national talking points.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Kimber said, "Oh Lord, Lord, help us." Tony Johnson said the Nebraska Republicans have their spinoff groups talking local politics all day. Young Republicans.
Man.
Uh,
Man.
I mean, I could name 3 or 4 groups,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not just talking about it, shaping
Being about it.
local politics. Right.
Being about it from very young ages. So yeah.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
point. Good point. Yeah, yeah, I'm with that. We'll have to have the Democrat Republican conversation at some point. Maybe even bring brother Anthony and sister Precious on for a little taste of that.
Might be a good idea. We are going to have an extensive haps a little later on in the show, so get your haps together. One thing I want to start talking about early though is the opening of Preston Love's office,
Hey,
2311 North 24th Street. He's the
tis
old
the
Jesse's
season.
place, man. So that's his new. It's his new office. He's running for U.S. Senate against Pete Ricketts. You know what? I kind of vaguely heard there's somebody else running too, and I forgot the name already. Who else is running for this? But
Mm,
he's launching his whole situation over here, and he's going to be at the old Jesse's place again. That address is where'd it go? 2311 North 24th Street. That's happening today. So he's doing his headquarters opening. You might want to go check him out a little later on in the day. And yeah, that's one of the things definitely happened today as far as HAPs are concerned. I think that a lot of people were talking about it. I talked to a lot of people this last week that were pretty excited about this particular event.
okay.
And yeah, all kinds of folks, man, really kind of backing him on some stuff like Michaela Cavanaugh, who we'll be talking about a little later on. It's been in the news a lot. She endorsed him. He's got a lot of endorsements going on right now for this run. So be a good chance to talk to him and find out where his head is at on this.
Yeah. Also, somebody had mentioned a different name, a third name that's going against Senator Chambers and Senator McKinney.
Hmm.
So somebody else going for that seat as well. If anybody is familiar with that name, drop it in the chat. Maybe we'll look into them. Yeah, yeah. Again, if I'm not mistaken, the deadline to announce is either today or recently passed. Um, very close, very close. Yeah, as far as a deadline for who's going to run for things. So more and more names I'm expecting to come out of the woodwork. So yeah, if anybody has any names that are running that you're looking at or paying attention to, that the people should be aware of, drop it in the chat. Let us know.
Yeah,
Let us know.
and of course we get calls all the time, so we might end up having some people on that are running.
Yep.
So that, we're all about kind of get to know the candidate thing. So whoever we are able to bring on, we'll definitely let you know about that in advance so you can get your questions ready for them. Mama God in the chat says best to circle back on the State of the Union address when we can hone in on top relevant talking points and then go from there. See,
Agreed.
I will go on for like 7 minutes in a roundabout way trying to say something, and then Mama got to come on saying in one sentence
Just
everything
boom.
else. Appreciate that. 7:40 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we do have a special guest coming on in here in about 5 minutes.
Yep.
Don Curry will be talking to him and getting the whole story on what happened with the development that he's been working on in North Omaha. Can't wait to talk to him about that. Meantime, between time, you want to jump into something else before we get there?
Yeah, let's go ahead and set it up a little bit, talking about a different housing type development story. This coming out of KMTV3, something that we've been looking at for actually some time, as far as actually this is Omaha World Herald, pardon me. But this is the accessory dwelling units, also known as an ADU or a mother-in-law suite. This is something that apparently individuals, residents have been trying to get pushed through, and Omaha City Council might be finally responding and pushing it through. Again, the ordinance has been approved by Omaha City Council on Tuesday, and the older people trying to stay in their neighborhoods could definitely be getting some help. The ordinance changes the Omaha zoning regulations to allow accessory dwelling units citywide and to streamline the process for approving them. Again, an accessory dwelling unit is an additional small house or apartment set on a single family residential property. Omaha has had them for generations. Of course, examples include carriage houses. Some more frequently seen are apartments above a garage, or a mother-in-law house in which aging parents lived in smaller digs while their children raised families in the main house. Now, city planners and other proponents see building more such residents as one way to address a critical shortage of "quote unquote" affordable housing in Omaha. The changes in zoning codes approved Tuesday were actually the first recommendation to be acted on from the city's housing affordability action plan, which the council adopted back in December of 2022. So now that plan is starting to finally come to fruition. As far as where exactly we are in this whole "quote unquote" affordable housing shortage, according to Council President Pete Festerson, there's a need for about 30,000 units by 2030 just to even start making an impact, just to make a dent, not even to fully solve the issue, but just to make an impact. About 30,000 affordable units. The ordinance provides for smaller residents that are more affordable. Using our current infrastructure, it will provide accessible options for seniors and families in particular. And I think there's an environmental benefit as well to increasing density as a part of that effort. So again, this move forward unanimously. I know a few of you own your homes, own some properties. What say you? Are you interested in building an ADU now that this passed? Is this something that you're looking at too?
Yeah, California's been doing this for a long time, and then they stopped for a while, and then they started back up pretty fairly recently. So, like, I'm used to going to a friend's house, and you walk past their house, down their driveway, and in the backyard, there's you can reach another house that's back there. It's usually
Mm-hmm.
family members. These days, man, the last time I went back to Los Angeles, especially, this was a huge deal. Like because of the crisis and because of what's been going on, there's doctors and lawyers and stuff that are living in ADUs in back of their parents' house. You know what
Really?
I'm saying? Yeah, dude, it's a trip. It's just a regular thing. It's not even a thing like it used to be. Like, well, we'll be back here temporarily, or like the article was saying, we'll move in the big house, and if the parents want to live in the back, usually it's the parents are still in the big house. The kids are living in the back because it's a temporary situation. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Mm-hmm.
turning into a permanent situation in a lot of instances, from what I see. Just anecdotally, just talking to folks. So, but yeah, I think that it's a very important step for to solve that. I mean, if that's the number of houses, what do you say, 30,000 just to make a
Mm-hmm.
dent? Yeah,
30,000.
I mean,
Just a start to make a difference.
right, right. So without buying more land, pushing more west, being able to utilize the land in different ways.
Hmm.
Definitely think it's a bonus. It's a plus. So, yeah, what say you, especially homeowners? What say you on that? How would that help the situation if you're able to do that? There's questions. Buddy had a question earlier about whether or not you can rent those out, or if it's something that you have to have. It's just like where your family got to live in, or it's part of your property, or you own that. Can you rent those out? What's going to happen when people start renting those out?
Hmm.
These are all questions too. And then of course cost of building. There's a lot to that too. You're going to take out a mortgage on your house to build something in the back. Will it work out for you financially if that's the case? Who has
Right.
access to be able to do that kind of thing? And those are a lot of questions when it comes to it, but I think overall it's a good thing. So let us know what you think in the chat, especially if you're a homeowner, which is something you consider.
Yeah, yeah. I think Miss Erica Felt might have mentioned that that was something that she was looking to for her property. And when I heard about this kind of originally, well, not necessarily originally, but lately, the conversation around ADUs is really stemmed or connected to um, Airbnb.
Yeah.
So, that's a whole
Great.
different thing as far as, how cities respond to Airbnb. Like we talked about New York actually changing laws to restrict Airbnb usage and cutting back on that. Actually, we talked about the ordinance that just passed about business owners and nuisance gatherings and noise complaints and things like that. And some of that was also connected to Airbnbs in some communities where there are Airbnbs, having noise complaints and people renting them for parties and things like that. So
Right.
yeah, I do wonder how this will play out as far as just how the city will respond to it, what types of activities will be, allowed. As you mentioned, will it just be family members? Will you be able to rent these things out? As of right now, people who want to build the units may be able to use designs that are pre-approved from the city, saving weeks of permit review time and costs to
Mhm.
having to hire an architect for an individual design. Also, AARP sponsored a competition last year for those designs. The city is reviewing the winners for potential pre-approval, so that could actually fast track and make some things easier for individuals who might want to do that. So yeah,
Right on.
yeah. Again, if you're interested in any kind of development of that nature, definitely let us know where you are in that process. And yeah,
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. We got a special guest waiting in the wings. We'll continue this conversation. You're listening to
hey,
First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning,
All B, Buddy the God, all of you. Stay
hey.
tuned. Donald Curry coming up.
Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right and wrong. Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right and wrong. Living in the HIC. Brothers all surrounding me. Ain't no futures here, just lives full of pain and fear. Time for a different stroke. I'm tired always being broke. Me and just about all my folks. Tired of being without hope, so it's time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning,
Paul B, Buddy the God, all of
hey,
you, Chat Chimers, Ghost listeners, radio listeners, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Brother Don Curry in the house.
hey,
Good morning, bro.
Peace, peace, my brothers, peace.
hey,
Hey,
brother Don, how's it going?
Doing all right, man. I'm maintaining out here in these streets of Omaha.
Yes,
that's what's
sir. Yes,
up.
sir. Yes, sir. Long time no see. Again, for those who aren't familiar, brother Don Curry, a local businessman, developer, used to again own the Omaha Rockets canteen, own and operate down on the Deuce. But from what I'm hearing, you've been getting into some other things, getting into some good trouble, kicking up some dust, and showing people the way. So yeah, yeah, that's kind of where we are right now, man. How have things been going as far as just business in general?
Well, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head, man. Just getting into some other things. I mean, as you all knew from your interaction with me at the Omaha Rockets canteen, I came here on a mission just to kind of, I guess if you would kind of get in on the ground floor with the economic development
Hmm.
off 24th and Lake and just in North Omaha in general. So, when that didn't pan out as I thought it would, I found another lane just from, picking up conversations at the canteen. Heard folks talking about the Omaha Land Bank and figured I'd do a little research on my own. And from that point, ended up acquiring 6 vacant lots off of the 16th Street corridor. So currently, we're working on our first threeplex. In Chicago, we call them three flats. So each floor would going to be a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom unit. So right now we're developing the first threeplex off of 16th and Emmett. Address is 3324 North 16th Street, and hopefully we'll have the permit to start the second development, which was the one in the media off of 3204 North 16th Street, which will be a threeplex also.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's kind of interesting how, um, things happen simultaneously. Like as far as you're saying your interest and how you got into the land bank, and we were kind of doing the same thing. Kind of around the same time of Omaha Rockets Canteen, as far as looking into the land bank, learning about what that was. As far as your experience with it, like what was the path to purchasing those properties? Because that was kind of the big thing. From my research, I've kind of found that the land bank was more so acting as a really a shell corporation, to be honest, like just hiding and holding properties for nonprofits, mainly Habitat for Humanity and Holy Name Housing Corporations. Those were the main two organizations that I saw getting, most of the properties. So it's very interesting to me to find an individual like yourself being able to kind of wiggle into that and get some of those properties. What was that process like?
I mean, for me, my brother, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, it was a
Okay.
matter of uh, it was a process, and that process was you actually once you identified the lots or lot that you were interested in, you had to show that you had the financial wherewithal to acquire the land. So So let's just say, for instance, for the sake of discussion, if the lot land bank was asking $3,000 for, just from me sitting in via Zoom and watching their acquisition meetings or their board meetings, I noticed that there was some situations where people may have came in and offered $1,000 less, and that particular bid was not accepted. So I said, you know what, I'll offer them what they're asking. So I found a lot and pretty much show them that I had the cash in the bank to acquire that lot. And then it also, in conjunction with the application, you had to show that you had financing in place. And obviously, no one's going to give you the $500,000 just for the sake of discussion if you don't have the deed or the title.
Hmm.
So the way that it went on my end, it pretty much was a letter from a mortgage bank that said contingent upon me acquiring the property, the holding title or deed, they'd come in and finance me. So once the title or deed was in hand, at that point, it took another year or so just to do the planning with the architect, engineers, and the like. And then from there, it was the permitting process. So for me, it was about a 2-year process. But
Mm.
again, back to your question, I mean, the land bank, it was a smooth process for me. I sent a lot of people that way because I mean, again, I was hearing exactly what you said, but I stepped out there just to basically see, okay, I'm the type of cat that where it's like, how hard could it be? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You cross your T's and dot your I's, and it proved true on my end. But now, the process has changed.
Really? How
Yeah,
so?
it's a 90-day window now. So, from my understanding, I close within 90 days, but now they're saying that you actually have to show that your financing is in place and that you have a site plan, if you would, and one step too that you had that I should have added, which is that you had to have the city planning department agree that you could build, what you were planning to build, what you would like to build on that property. So in other words, the city had to look at the design and say, hey, which was like what they call a pre-planning meeting, to
Hmm.
say that, okay, if you're looking to build 3 stories up, yes, this is doable on that particular lot, because the lots are zoned anywhere from like R4 or R5, R6 and R7. So, those ratings pretty much revolve around being single family dwellings all the way up to, 4 or 5 stories as well.
So let me jump back real quick because so just so I can understand, you went to the land bank. The land bank said they're offering these plots of land for a certain price. You offered them what they wanted, and then you had a certain amount of time to show them that you can get the funding because you didn't have funding in place already for the building, right?
Right, right, right. So that's what I was getting at.
Okay.
That when I went through the process, it was a matter of, again, because everyone that I went to, because they were like, you're going to close probably in the 90 days. So everyone
Mhm.
that I started speaking, this was before Front Porch even came along. Front Porch
Mm.
wasn't even in the mix yet. So keep that in mind. So everyone that I went to pretty much said, listen, if you can't show us that you already have uh, a threeplex that you've done yourself, new construction, that means you don't have any collateral, right? And again, we're talking about a project that's upwards of $500,000. But yet, luckily, there was a mortgage banking company in Chicago that was familiar with my first restaurant, the Negro League Cafe, and I'd owned several three flats in the city. So they had pretty much known that they looked at the credibility and character aspect of the 3 C's of credit. So they looked at
Mm.
my credibility, they looked at my character and said, you know what, Curry, I guess we can make that the 4th C. But they said, you know what, Curry, we'll go ahead and back you, but you have to have this title, you have to have this deed in hand before we even go any further. And sure enough, the land bank was with that. It wasn't any pushback. But the way, from
Mm.
what I'm hearing now, it really sounds as if they're saying that you have to have a letter from the bank pretty much saying you will be financed.
And again, the bank is not necessarily going to give you that letter unless you've already bought the land. So you kind of in a catch 22.
Well, I mean, I attended a board meeting maybe about a month and a half ago, and there was, I think they actually disposed like seven lots then. So people are doing it, but yet, I'm thinking they were probably going to do single family homes. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, I mean, that may be an easier route to take versus what I did.
Mm.
You get me? Because, I
Mm.
mean, again, you can go to a bank and pretty much say, hey, I got this vacant lot. And keep in mind, you're not going to the bank asking them to give you money to purchase the land. And that's another thing I should say, is that if
Mhm.
you acquire the land first, which is the whole purpose of actually having the deed or the title in hand, an institution is much more likely to play ball with you because you've actually shown that you have skin in the game versus going to them and saying, hey, I need money to buy the land and I need to build.
Right.
Right, right. So again, the funds that you received were just to build.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
But
right.
yet,
Okay.
within that budget, I was able to include, the fee to take care of the architect, all of that good stuff as well. So it's a matter of you, setting up your budget. But to my
Man.
point, I will say this, that I went to that board meeting maybe about a month or so ago, and they disposed 7 lots. Now, I'm assuming that these people that acquired these lots were looking to build single family homes. So if that's the case, I'm of the thought that, you can go to the land bank, you can acquire a lot and build you a single family home because you're only talking about maybe about $100,000, $200,000, right?
Mhm.
So, that being the case, you compare what your mortgage would be on, let's just say for the sake of discussion, $175,000 home. You compare what that mortgage payment is going to be compared to what most folks are paying for rent for a 3 bedroom. I mean, there's going to be some savings from that perspective, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely. So a couple things I'm thinking about that I'm kind of thinking about our conversation that we had offline the other day too. Because when you were doing this in the beginning, you had a longer period of time to be able to get the funds together to build than they're saying now. They're saying 90 days now before what was the length of time that you had before that to be able to get that together?
Um, 2 years, 2 years.
Man.
Right. So you go into
So,
the
so keep
land
it,
bank.
so,
Go
so,
ahead.
so keep in mind, when my process was that again, I just had to have a letter saying that contingent upon me closing, right? That's the
Mhm.
key, which is that the financing wasn't even going to be entertained until after I closed. Now, from what I'm hearing, you cannot close until you show that you have that letter.
Right.
Mm.
That makes
And
sense?
you got a shorter period of time to close. at that
Well,
point.
you got a shorter period of time to actually get the financing. I'll put it to you
Get
that
the
way,
financing, right?
right?
Right.
Mhm.
So I had it was a 1 year window, really, if you would, as far as saying that I had 1 year to pretty much. And again, I'm a firm believer things happen for a reason. So I closed in 2021. Front porch came on deck 2022, if I'm not mistaken, right? And
Mhm.
I rarely watch the news. And I just happened to catch a segment about front porch, I want to say around December of 2021. And it was Meredith, and they were pretty much interviewing him, and they were saying that we're rolling out this initiative to basically finance emerging developers. And I'm like, oh boy, I love Omaha. So I
Hmm.
set up a conference call with them in January, and they were like, "Hey, glad to see that you have interest, but yet we haven't really put together, um, our financing pathway yet."
Mm.
So it was just timing on my end. So by the time that I got approved for Front Porch's first round of funding and went through the permitting process, I was probably like a year and 6 months. So I started construction right at that 2 year window for the first property that I acquired off of Emmett Street.
Mm.
All in all, my brothers, it's doable, but it's just a matter of, again, the three C's of credit to where you can acquire those lots. Because I mean, right now, if I'm not mistaken, you probably can get a 6,000 square foot lot from the land bank for probably about 9 grand, right?
Man.
So yeah. So you can't beat that with a bat anywhere. So you get the lot, and I mean, again, you don't have to be as grandiose as I went. Single family home, with the ADU in the back, and that ADU would basically be another stream of income. So you could go to the
Mhm.
bank and present this, like, I'm going to live in the single family home. I'm going to build an ADU in the back of the property, which in turn is going to subsidize the mortgage payment as well. So you already got cash flow. So at that point, the bank is not only looking at your source of income, they're also going to see that you have a separate stream of income. You know,
Mm.
for
Just
sure.
just
But
more ammunition to get that loan from the bank to do that thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think we just figured out how to get financed. So now it's just
Right.
a
Right.
matter of
Right.
acquiring the land. So again, go back to what I said earlier. Things happen. Time is everything, and for this ADU push to come up, that's a blessing, because now you can build a single family home and throw you a 1 or 2 bedroom, that a tiny home in the back, and you can
Mhm.
rock and roll from there. That's a whole nother stream of income, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
ADU just passing this very particular timing.
Yeah.
Um.
Let me jump in this just to let people know it's 8:02 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you don't know what's going on, we are joined by Donald Curry, a brother that we've known for a while, ever since Rockets Canteen back in the day. Man, I put your title here as a previous maker of the turkey taco.
My
Yeah, so
brother.
that's who you are.
And buddy's soul food rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, with the greens and the yams,
Yeah,
man, getting
no doubt.
down, getting
No
down. Yes, sir.
doubt.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, man.
in these days, he's doing the development. He's been in the news. We talked about him last week in an article that was talking about how he reached out to the surrounding area of the land that he was developing to get feedback from the people, and everybody was real happy about how it all turned out. And we get into that story, but first
Oh yeah, yeah.
we're asking these questions right now because basically, if you tuned in right now, you're getting game on how to
Man.
do some development and build some single family homes and utilize the land bank. We finally got somebody on that's gone through the process, and you're getting game right now. So take notes. So these are the reasons why we're asking these questions. We want to get to the story of how it went down with you with the neighborhood, especially because that's been a big thing around here. Is people developing all around us without any feedback from the people that are affected by the buildings.
Yeah,
Uh, and you have a success story there that's kind of gaining some traction around the nation, really.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's pretty
let-
wild too.
let's hear a little bit about that. How do you feel? How do you feel that went?
So, again, like, from my background in Chicago, and again, my backstory is that I moved here from Chicago when I was 8. Graduated from Burke in '88, so I had a good 10 year run here. And then my formative years, I would say. And then after I graduated, ended up doing Air Force Reserves, went to my HBCU, Virginia State University out in Petersburg, Virginia.
Hey.
Before the HBCU even became a trend or a hashtag, we were out there
Yep.
eating ramen noodles, struggling.
Yep, college life.
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying, buddy. So after I finished that at Virginia State, I got a bachelor's in accounting, and then I went and got a master's in taxation from the University of Denver, and ended up back in Chicago in '95. Right. So I did a 10-year, 21 years rather in Chicago before I came back here. So you look at what I did in Chicago was that I had a restaurant, had a good run, Negro League Cafe there for 5 years, but I also acquired 3 flats and 2 flats, and I was doing full gut rehabs. But I never did any new construction at all from the ground up. So this has been on the job training for me. So, initially what happened is that, once the 16th and Emmett started, I was like, okay, fine, I'm doing my thing. No one's come and tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, buddy, hey, Don, sorry, buddy. What are you doing? And but that happened with 16th and Spencer, to where the neighborhood was like, well, wait a minute. What exactly is it that you're planning on putting up in this particular block? So at that point, and this is during a planning board meeting, to where the planning board was set to approve me to get the permit, to move on to the permit, towards the permitting process for 3204 North 16th Street. So, when that question came up, they pretty much suggested that we go have a kumbaya and sit down and talk about what my plans were for 3204 North 16th Street, which is the corner of 16th and Spencer, and then also further discuss some changes that I made at 3324 North 16th, which is 16th and Emmett. So it worked out well, to where, I was expecting, just to get beat up behind closed doors about what I was looking to do. But yet, the community was like, listen, we want this over here, but we just, feel as though, for instance, the building on Spencer Street, 16th and Spencer, if you look at what we've designed on 16th and Emmett, it's your typical, New York, Chicago, 3-story building, 3-unit apartment building, 3 flat with a flat roof, right? So what they suggested is that, all right, if you're going to go with this more modern style, why don't you at least give the front of it the look of a pitch roof? That makes sense. So basically, what we're doing is we're creating a pitch roof facade that we're going to pretty much put on the front of the building to make it look from the street view as if, when you're looking directly at the building, that it has a pitch roof, just to kind of again blend in with the architecture that's already over there in the community. And it was brilliant. Immediately once that was said, I looked at, we had poster size mock-ups of both developments, and immediately once I looked at it and saw what they were envisioning, I said, no problem at all, that works. And we chopped it up for maybe about another 30 minutes or so, and walked out of there and shook hands and went to sit down. So that was on a Monday, and the city council meeting was that Tuesday. So keep in mind, this could have went the other way, where there wasn't, a matter of us coming to a compromise, and me not willing to understand, what they were getting at, because it's one way to look at it from the perspective. And I think a lot of developers tend to say that, what, my name's on the line for this money. And, who are you to kind of tell me what I need to do, right? But yet, all the community wants to do is feel as though, one, we know you, we met you, we like you. Because you're gonna, if you're not gonna live in the development, they're gonna have to trust that you're gonna get the right tenants to live in there. And that's another takeaway as well that I got from that, because they were asking questions about, who do I plan on moving into these developments and whatnot. And I walked them through, at least my method will be that, there's going to be an addendum to the lease that states that we will be inspecting these units the first Saturday of every month between this time frame, if you're there or not, and we'll leave a checklist of everything. So keep in mind, most landlords, either they don't come when you tell them that there's a problem, or some people just don't even call, and the landlord doesn't show up until it's time to inspect the place, and they're moving out, and they're like, oh, what happened here?
Or you might be OHA, who act like they don't get no complaints at all.
Yeah. When we talk about that.
Yeah, I caught that, man. That's a tough one right there, because you're dealing with people's lives, man. You know what I mean? And I think all three of us know that if you don't have food, clothing, and especially shelter, that's just a downward spiral. It
It's
really
rough.
is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with these kids these days too, bro. I mean, shelter is it's the core to us all, man. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're thinking about that because you're a developer now, and
Right.
you have so you have to have this thought about affordable housing.
Yeah.
We talk on this show a lot about how there is no such thing as affordable housing. There, what is the definition of affordable housing, so on and so forth. So I get to talk to a person now who actually has to set a price for his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me your process. How did you come up with the number that you did for
Yeah.
rent?
So we talked about that, and I had tuned in the show. What was that? I think it was the last Friday show, right? If I'm
Hmm.
not
Okay.
mistaken, right? When that's when you guys had mentioned the story and whatnot in reference to my
Hmm.
interaction with the community, and someone
Hmm.
had put in the chat that there's no such thing as affordable housing. So you know, everybody has their take on what that means, but from my perspective and what the folks that financed me, what they were looking for was for you to basically look at someone's average medium income, AMI, right? So you're
Hmm.
going to take a person's average medium income, and most folks are practically spending maybe 50% of their average median income. So this is what they're bringing home per month, spending 50% on rent. That's just rent.
Or more.
More
Or
than
That's
more.
that,
not
bro.
cell phone, car note, insurance, groceries.
Food.
Uh, exactly. And again, me coming up, when I got my first job at the age of 16, I looked forward to every 2 weeks at least buying a fit. So, these days with the way that inflation is beating us up and they're robbing us with that word, um, affordable housing means that you're setting up a situation in which a person can come in and maybe spend only 30%, 33% of their average median income on rent, right? So from my perspective, with my 3 bedrooms, 2 units, like how much would you guys think that a 1,200 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, walk-in closet, master bathroom,
Hmm.
in the master suite, how much would you think that would go for rent?
Man, I
Yeah.
mean, the way what we seeing in Omaha now, I'll be surprised if it's less than two.
I
Wow.
would think it would be more like 23, twenty four
Right.
hundred a month. I'm
Right.
living in a one bedroom now. That's $1,200. So
Yeah.
these 3 bedrooms are a grip.
So here is the why it's called affordable housing. At least what I'm constructing, fifteen
Hmm.
hundred a month, my brother, and that's
Yeah.
basically the first two levels, 1,500. So apartment number one, apartment number two will come in again based on an individual's income, and me saying that okay, you can afford 1,500, and going from there and whatnot. And then the third floor unit will come in at market rate. But that's what that formula is. I mean, you're looking at what someone's average medium income is, and you're making sure that, I have to set parameters to say my parameters are like 40 to 33%, 33% on the low end.
So how do you pick tenants at that? If it's a sliding scale and it is going to go by the income, then how are you making the decision on which tenants? Because Anthony Rogers right in the chat right now, he's saying that's the problem. Income is a horrible barometer to determine how somebody's going to is doing financially because it assumes that income are on par with cost of living. It never is. It's literally the point of capitalism to pay workers the least amount that you can. We all know that we're not getting living wages in Omaha as frequently as we need to be, as much as we need to be, especially in certain neighborhoods. So how do you decide that you're going to have that sliding scale and go off of a percentage of a person's income? Then how do you choose which incomes come in? Who do you choose to take occupancy?
Well, the three C's of them looking at a bank determining whether or not you're worthy to get financing from them, a credit, character, and a collateral, right?
Hmm.
So I'm looking at it from the perspective that, again, submitting out, throwing out a net to go work with the housing organizations and pull in applications, go see where the individuals live, look at pay stubs, and kind of go from there. So let's just say, for instance, um, a person is making 40 grand a year, right? At least we know that they have a steady job, because at that point, I can basically take that number, divide it by 12, and then you get their average medium income, right?
Mhm.
and then sit down with them to determine how close they can get to that 1,500 a month. And as we all three agreed, and we know, I mean, for one, at 1,500 a month compared to these other three bed, your one bedroom at 1,200. I mean, it's a bargain. I'll put it to you that way. And to the brother's comment, I mean, one thing that we have to understand is that we're living in a capitalistic society. America was founded on capitalism. There's no way around it. So what we have to do as a culture is understand how to exist within it, but yet benefit from the capitalistic society that we're in, but then find a form of socialism to enact, which is what I feel as though I'm doing. I mean, again, by me, I literally could say, okay, you know what, I am offering these units up at 2,000 a month, right? But I'm not. So to me, that's a matter of me giving back to folks that I know need quality, affordable housing. And again, affordable meaning that they're able to pay $1,500 a month, because again, we all know that rents are ridiculous right now. That whole COVID thing was a great excuse for everything to basically go up in price, which was absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? But we have to understand that we're in a, so if imagine if 10 people listening to this discussion right now, right? If 10 people took $1,000, that's 10 grand. Identified a lot that the land bank has, but let's just say 7 grand. So now you have the funds to acquire the lot. You also have another $3,000 left over to now hire a designer to say, okay, and you may not even have to do that, because if you got somebody on the team that knows a graphic designer, they can kind of come up with a mock-up for you to have a conversation with in reference to the planning board, or the planning department rather, about what it is that you're looking to build on the site, right? So now you've acquired the lot, you've sat down with the planning department, and now you can go to a bank and say, hey, can we get a $200,000 loan to build a single family home, 2 bedrooms, and then you put this ADU in the back, and you did that 7 more times. I think at that point you've kind of created, and I hate to use this word because everybody uses it now, but now you pretty much create generational wealth. You get what I'm saying? So now you're participating in the capitalistic system, and you can actually do something good for our folks, because if we don't start taking care of each other, we already know how that goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I want to stick on this point just a little bit because there's some comments in the chat I want to get to. But first of all, I had a question about the interactions that you had with the neighbors,
Mhm.
which is how all this came to our attention. Did you talk about rent pricing in that? And when you said that they kind of gave you the blessing on, yeah, go ahead and develop it, did they know what the rent was, or the rent you were looking for was going to be
Yeah,
in it?
I shared it with them, for sure. And
Okay, they didn't.
that's where, one question that was posed to me was like, well, okay, if the rent's going to, and this is the way it was put to me, if the rent's going to be that cheap, what type of people do you plan on renting to? You
Cheap.
get what I'm saying?
Uh,
Yeah, because I mean, again, with that level of rent, it's automatically assumed that I'm pretty much going to pull in, folks that, more or less are on government assistance and the like, and Section 8. And I'm a product of Section 8. So it may be a situation to where I pull in some Section 8 folks in there as well. But again, from what I understand, the Section 8 waiting list is maybe about 2,000 people on that list.
yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah,
Let,
exactly.
let me give
Exactly.
you let me give you another perspective. Mama God in the chat is saying 1,500 a month is still out of the range for many, especially those looking to occupy property on 16. 60, the average median income around that area is probably lower than the $5,400 a month or $54,000 a year. Miss Erica Feld just identified it. 1,500 is a third of a tenant's income. You're looking at a tenants who make 54,000 a year. Not a lot of people who are making 54,000 a year in those areas. So will they be able to stay in those areas at that rate? It's kind of the question. So
Right.
when you're saying that the neighbors were saying what kind of people are you going to bring in for that cheap, other neighbors are saying how are you, what kind of people are you going to bring in because it's so expensive, because it's way more expensive than the neighborhood. You understand, you understand what my question is?
But I'll put it to you all this way. I don't know when the last time any of you been down to 16th Street, but when I grew up off of 16th and Emmett. I lived at 1622 Emmett. So I used to, and again, as fate had it, I used to catch the school bus right across the street from the first project that I'm developing
Wow.
now. Catch the bus to
Yeah.
Burt right there on that corner of 16th and Emmett. So I was literally facing that lot for 4 years of my life, right? That neighborhood does not house folks that look like us anymore. It's a majority
Mm,
of brothers and sisters from South Omaha that are moving over there now.
mm,
Serious.
Interesting.
So yeah. And I don't think most people really realize that yet, because again, they can't afford rent in South Omaha, so they're coming that way. So
Wow.
again, my form of socialism, I brought up the Section 8 waiting list, is that I'm going to filter through that and find some brothers. Because I mean, again, I was a product of Section 8. I know what that means. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
going to go through that waiting list and basically find me, if you would, some great tenants and kind of go from there. Because I guess my point is that to answer that question is that I'm not looking to kind of draw, because most people that live in that area are pretty much situated. They're not looking to basically move out of one place into another, right? So I'm looking
mm,
to basically draw from the pool of folks that need housing, right? That have these vouchers that cannot find a place to live, because most landlords do not want to improve their house or their apartment to qualify for a Section 8. Whereas I'm coming in with new construction, and that's why I said on a monthly basis we'll be inspecting the unit as well.
mm. I do want
And
to add something to this conversation as well, because I'm thinking from your perspective. Again, we talk about affordable housing from the people that's trying to afford the housing and pay for it, but you're not doing this as a nonprofit. I'm assuming you're not, like, you're doing this to make money, like as a business venture to some point. Like, you're not just building this just to house people. So
it's a
I am kind of
nonprofit, brother.
curious. Right. So I am curious, to that point. Um, how I think there was actually a point in the story that talked about, you having to talk to the developers, that they were trying to put granite on everything, and there were certain materials that they were trying to use that you kind of had to
Oh
talk to them
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And so I want you to talk more about the development side, like how much is it costing for materials, what are the prices of materials, and how can you, like, what is the real reality of a developer to not, go in debt and not be homeless themselves, but still, develop something that people can afford.
Yeah, so great question. What I found on, again, keep in mind, first new construction project with 3324 North 16th Street or 16th and Emmett. I didn't work as intimate as I should have with the designer, the architect, right?
Mm.
So when we submitted to the city the first go around, we had uh, Juliet balconies with French doors, instead of going with, you feel me, Paul? And then we had
I'm mad at this Juliet balcony I got right here, right now. I know it's costing me
yeah,
another $200 a month just for that
yeah,
Juliet balcony.
right. And then
Look out the
you
window.
need to get a discount for the draft coming in off of it. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? So so again, I'm at this. When we submitted to the city, you know, I didn't sit down with my guy to say, hey, we need to pull this Juliet balcony and French doors instead of us using the hardy board siding. We need to just go with vinyl siding instead of the elaborate stone lip on the windows. We just need to go with regular brick as to what I'm doing now. Um, so once I started pricing everything out, the GCs were coming back and asking questions like, "Are you sure this is affordable housing? Because you got some ornate exterior uh, material on this building." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" And they walked through the price of the Juliet balconies, the brick, the hardy board siding compared to vinyl, and the whole nine. So at that point, I'm like, "Well, whoa." I will go over budget, and there's no way I can go back and ask for additional funds, even though I tried. And they were like, "Nah, son, you pretty much need to go ahead and rock and roll what you have and make it work."
mm,
And the financing folks were nice enough to say, "Hey, there's someone on our board that wants to talk to you. He believes he has a way for you to finish the project within budget." And that way was for me to become a general contractor. So
mm.
that was what, December of 2022. I took the exam for Class A general contracting January 13th of
Mm.
2023, and I knocked it out. So
Wow.
I GC and developed what I'm
Wow.
doing now. So,
You had to become a general contractor to finish this project. That's insane.
yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
Man.
if not, I mean, they were coming back at like 1.2 million, 1.6 million, literally. So yeah, but it was worth it because now, I'm able to, as Buddy said earlier, you said earlier as well, pretty much give everyone the playbook that I used. And, again, going back to what I said before, and even to your question, Buddy, like I said, I'm a nonprofit, so I'm not in this. I get to pay myself a developer fee, but that's
So
a
you are a
percentage.
nonprofit.
Yeah, 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 bro.
Okay.
Yeah, my nonprofit organization is the Talented Tenth Group, right? So
Mm.
it's a play on W.E.B. Du Bois's philosophy, which is that it's up to
Mm.
the quote unquote talented 10% of the black race. And he said that talented 10% consists of the doctors, the educators, the lawyers, the businessmen, anybody that has any type of financial wherewithal to reach back and pull up our other 90% of brothers and sisters that are in. So that's really what I'm doing. I'm not here to make a bag, my brother. I figure, I'll be blessed enough from the construction side of what I'm doing, from, following suit and getting that GC license. I'll be blessed enough from that to, more or less be able to put a little bit more extra bread on my table,
Mm.
which I didn't even see that coming, like literally I jumped in to say, hey, where else at this point in time can I get a 6,000 square foot lot for $3,000? So I went in and my first inclination was just to get the land. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then from there, once you get the land, as I told you earlier, they're going to have people will have a serious conversation with you because you're showing that you have skin in the game and you're serious. You're not just coming to them asking. You're not coming to them asking for money to purchase the land and to develop.
Mm. Man, lots to unpack here, bro. We don't
Yeah.
even have time enough in this show to go through it all. But I appreciate the time that you're spending running down this whole process. What you're talking about right now is how you on the second property now you went with less amenities, less Juliet balconies, and so on and so forth to keep the
Yeah,
keep the price down, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
the buildings, and you'll start once once Emmett Street is complete. I'll make sure I invite you guys to come to the open house and community as well. All of my projects are going to mirror each other. They're going to have kind of like the same exterior look, right?
Okay.
So, what I did was I guess what I'm getting at is that 16th and Emmett and 16th and Spencer will look like the buildings will favor one another. And that's, again, for me learning exactly what I can do within budget. So now, 16th and Spencer should not cost as much as what I spent on 16th and Emmett. I'll put it to you that way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, as you say, you're learning on the job, man, and we appreciate learning from you. Kind of seeing your example. This is something Paul and I have talked about as far as just possibly getting into development. You see the land bank has so many properties, and you can just imagine what can be done with some of those properties. So to kind of see it in real time is definitely appreciated. A lot of people in the chat making some giving you some feedback, saying they learned a lot from you. So I kind of
Oh,
urge you to
wow.
go
I'm
back.
glad to hear that because I
And
mean,
some people,
those chat comments can be kind of brutal. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, they can, they can, but you get some
I'm
love,
definitely willing to come back and kind of
man.
chop it up some
Yeah.
more about this. And even, if it's a matter of if you all get enough interest on your end, I mean, keep in mind when I gave that analogy of 10 people, $1,000, imagine if it's 100 people. Get what I'm saying? Collective economics is the way for us to go. Like literally, if we start pulling our resources together, because not everybody has 3,000 in disposable income sitting around to reinvest right now. But I'm willing to bet again, there's at least 100 of us that may be able to piece together. If you say that, okay, we have a 6-year plan, six-month plan to basically save $1,000, and we got 100 of us. And at that point, we can even chop it up to where it's 10 different LLCs. You get what I'm saying? And everybody can go after the property themselves. I mean, that's the best way to do it. Because if we don't do it, I mean, they've opened up I think they went national with the listing for the land bank. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 so you
somebody
know what,
somebody in the chat mentioned that.
yeah, so you know what comes with that. That's outside developers that are now going to come in, and the majority of those 300 and some odd lots are in North Omaha. So
they
going back,
already here, man. They already here buying it up. So
Yeah, man.
it is what it is on that. So
yeah,
I
so we,
appreciate you coming
yeah,
in, man, and giving us that overall because we definitely want to have you back and start digging into some of these details. And I like this idea. I used to be a part of an investment club in California, and I like the idea of this kind of collective, plan on doing some things, especially when it comes to this. You know what I'm
no
saying?
doubt.
So I just want to say, please go back and check out the chat when you get a chance. If you have an email address, maybe there's a couple people that want to reach out to you, and I want to make sure that that you saw that they want to, a couple of people want to talk to you. If you got a business email or something like that, you can give us so that
Yeah,
people can
yeah,
reach.
yeah,
Then that'd probably be best bet. Put it in the chat, and then they can kind of reach you from there. But shout out to Cheryl Weston who's in the chat right now. Vicky Young says great
yeah.
interview. Appreciate that. Brother Pena sounds like he's a property owner as well, so he's been saying some things. Miss Erica Felt is asking some very pointed questions because I believe that she's in the market for going for doing something with her land or acquiring some new land. So there's a lot here that you might want to go back into the chat and check out on Facebook and YouTube. And then anything, and then if anybody wants to find you, what's a good email address to give to them? Put
Yeah,
that in
it's
the chat.
Curry Constructs. I'll put it in the chat also, but it's CurryConstructs@gmail. So Curry Constructs at Gmail.
There you
Got it.
go. There you go. Brother Sherman Wells also in the chat, giving you a good morning, Brother Curry.
Yeah, that's my man right there. What's up, Sherman?
That's
Yes,
what's up, man. Heather
yes,
Williams is very informative. Great guest, great info. Got 1,000 on it. Tamika Johnson already ready to put in on it. That's what's up.
There you go.
See, Paul, he's the treasurer.
You don't want me holding the money. I might go buy put some suede Pumas or something. Don't give me the money. Pop
I
says
was,
one of the best interviews ever. Thank you, brother
Man,
Curry. Right on, man.
yeah,
oh,
a
wow.
lot of good game.
All right,
Hey,
I love to come back, guys, for sure.
let's
Yes,
do it.
sir.
Let's do
Yes,
it, man.
sir.
Let's do it. And let's go. Chop it up even off air.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
go get some lunch or something, man. And
Yeah,
I might have to invite myself to your house, and you might have to make some turkey tacos. That's all I'm
I
just
got
saying.
you. I got you. I got you. For sure. Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother, man. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, y'all. This was fun. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pleasure.
All
Peace,
right.
peace. All right, brother
There you
Curry
go.
in the house, man.
Yes, man. Hopefully, y'all was taking notes, man. Hopefully, you was taking notes. A lot of game.
I'm saying finally we getting somebody who's in it, who's doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been really trying to figure out how this thing works ever since that article in the Reader about the land bank situation. Who's taking it, and also, man, dipping into like front porch, which
Yeah,
we've been talking about
man.
trying to get in. Now we're seeing the fruits of somebody who's taking advantage of some of these programs that we've been talking about. So lots to it, man. Lots to it. I appreciate that. It's the First Sky Omaha fans about to, we about to get into some. Everybody gonna be a landowner. Everybody's gonna be on
Man.
this tip.
I mean, I'm definitely thinking like, brother Curry mentioned the timing of everything, and you think about it like, this ADU being pushed through,
Man.
the LB 1024 funds, like people are going to get those funds, and all those drop in the bucket, man. All you need is a mustard seed. What I mean, you can make some things happen. You can
Man.
make some things happen. Like it's 50, but you might be able to peel off 1,000 of that, or do something, make 1,000 from that. You can flip that 50 to 1,000 and do something with it. So,
Bro.
there's just possibly some opportunity for, business minded and development minded people to make some moves, man. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Look at the fam. Conversation. Miss Cheryl Wilson says Bree Full is now CEO for Front Porch.
What?
Yeah, bro.
What?
Taking that position.
Man, that's huge. Shout out to Bree Full, CEO.
Hey, we're about to make something happen.
Boss status.
Make something happen. Make something happen. We're gonna get it together for brothers.
Get it together for sisters. Man.
We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha Development Company is going down. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It's going down, man. It's
Yeah,
Friday.
man.
It is the 8th of March. Supposed to be spring-like weather, but it's snowing outside or
Brr.
something. Flurries, whatever it is. It's
Man,
ridiculous. Yeah, it's all good though, cause I'm gonna stay inside, looking at the land bank map.
there you
Rest
go.
of the day.
There you go. Think warm thoughts. Think warm thoughts.
Yes, yes, yes. Appreciate everybody that's joining us and everybody that came in and had some great questions and comments for the guest. We'll definitely have him back and speak on this some more, man. I'm really kind of seeing what's going on here on a bunch of different levels. When I'm thinking about what the BAA has done with buying 8 acres, when I think about the 17 acres that's over at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
now we know a third person that owns a few lots in North Omaha that is trying to build some things and make some things happen for people to have some kind of situation, some kind of place to live. First of all, let's just talk about that. Just finding
Right.
a place to live, let alone how much it costs to live there. Just finding a place has been a serious issue. So and then I feel like the when you do that, when you're a person from the neighborhood, when you somebody that stood at the bus stop across the street from the place you're trying to buy,
Man.
then you'll make a difference in the place that you came up with in, and that's the whole point. I think
Right. Right. It's a
myself.
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, Ms. Shara West says, "Do not be fooled. The land bank is not for the North Omaha people. It's supposed to be. It's there for North Omaha folks to be able to invest in their own neighborhoods. Don Curry is an anomaly. Does feel like he said I don't know, man. They gave away 7 properties, and I wanted to be like, yeah, but to who? I mean,
Right. Right.
who did it go to? Because all we see is signs of companies from Kansas City and all kinds of other cities around that are owning all the vacant houses, all the empty houses and stuff now. So what are you going to do? The majority of land bank properties are from North Omaha, but purchasers are not those who are purchasing these properties.
Yep.
As Miss Weston says, yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see when. And this is another shout out to Brianna Fool for doing the thing, and we'll have to definitely have her on to give us a report on the school board, but also on what she's doing over here at Front
Front
Porch.
porch. Man,
Gotta
that was
see.
definitely interesting to even hear, about Brother Curry getting some financing from Front Porch. We know that they received a lot, I think 20 million or something for a development. So again, if those are interested, that was kind of the big thing, for anybody. I know a few chat chambers have mentioned trying to find different properties and develop some things. So again, hopefully you got a lot of information. That's what we're here for.
Something that I'm remembering too that we found uncovered when we were looking at land bank stuff is that land bank owns a whole lot of other properties that they are not listing on the website.
Man, yes, hundreds
So
of properties.
a lot going on. Pop says, "Hey, the First Sky Investment Development Consortium sounds like a great idea to me." Okay,
Okay.
me too.
Okay. I mean, that was a part of the idea. It just so happened the timing of things. LB 1024 was happening at the same time of the Follow the Money season. So that's what kind of dominated. But a big part for us of following the money was also just this mental space we were in of just being in business, watching Earn Your Leisure and learning more about cryptocurrency and investing in stocks and really, really diving into that whole world. So we've talked about a First Guy Omaha Investment Club, and at some point we do want to have those kind of conversations as far as what businesses, what y'all investing in, what stocks are popping right now, what should we be looking out for, because as a community we're not having these conversations enough. Somebody mentioned, certain communities they can meet at country clubs and they can meet at these areas, but where do we meet? Where our club's getting closed down.
I was already as soon as you said that I was like, First Sky Country Club, we're gonna do this.
Man,
Already on my brain.
there was some talk about buying the Viking ship and making that a country club next to the Miller Park.
Mm.
I'm just putting it out there. Just put it out there. There's definitely been some talk about some country clubs, black country clubs. Yeah, actually, there's some individuals down here, some entrepreneurs who are looking at a spot, interested in making like a black country club. So yeah, it's kind of again it's a national conversation. Things happening simultaneously as far as just our communities getting more into business, getting more into investing, financing, and just being in that environment. Yeah. You with that, RG? Says, come on with that Viking ship takeover, man. That'd be beautiful. You can imagine, you can think, man, country club right across from, man. Yeah. From
Just
the
so
second tee.
8:40 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're with us right now on this Friday, the 8th, which means that we're probably going to have an extensive haps coming up.
Man.
So please get your haps together, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But before we get to that, man, before we let our minds go off into outer space about dreaming about investing,
Yeah.
let's get to some of these other, other stories.
You can feel it. You can feel it about to go left field real quick.
I
Thank
got
you for
2 or
reeling
3
it back
pages,
in.
2 or 3 pages of notes to write out when I get done with this show.
Man,
So,
yeah. But
yeah.
thanks for reeling it back in, man. Just about 20 minutes left in this thing. I was definitely gonna go on an investment tangent. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. But there is something we do have to get into before we get out of here. Kind of a juxtaposition, really, to the story and conversation we just had with Brother Don Curry, talking about OHA. Again, Brother Don Curry, he met with the residents in the area. The people was receptive, listened, applied changes, and everybody walked away happy. Not quite the situation with OHA, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, from what I'm reading. It's not looking good, man. Again, Joni Poor, CEO of Omaha Housing Authority, spoke up, and as WOWT Channel 6 reports, yeah, I'll be honest, I'm kind of confused from this article. Like, is she saying there is a problem, or is she saying there isn't a problem? I don't know. So I'm going to read through it. Y'all tell me. Again, many comments from that I'm seeing on friends of a lot of people not happy with what CEO Joni Poor had to say. But again, here it is. Again, the top official, as WOWT reports, says those complaints are the exception and not the rule. Again, talking about complaints of bed bugs, broken pipes, roaches, mice, mold, leaks. I mean, the list goes on as far as the complaints that we're hearing. But I don't know. Apparently, OHA isn't hearing those complaints. She says, what I can tell you unequivocally is that there's not mass infestations, live bugs running all over the place, and rodents everywhere. That is not the case, says Joni Poor. It's not what's happening on these properties and in these facilities. According to WOWT, about 7,500 people live in public housing, which would make actually OHA, if it were a city, larger than Plattsmouth. Tenants are a diverse group, and like any other group of people, they deal with a number of issues. Joni Poor pointing to some of those issues being financial issues, mental health, substance abuse, aging of population, and like the rest of the community does, she says. But again, and she goes on to say, more so I've had complaints increase to the media, not to us. We individually as an organization, through our channels, through our work order systems, through our property managers, have not seen a substantial increase in those complaints. So again, she's saying they're not receiving complaints, but on the flip side, later in the article, she also says that are there issues in units at buildings? Yes, there are. All units, absolutely not, but there are some that really are not in good condition. Yes. So again, nobody is saying every unit is bad, but again, are you going to address the issue or not? Like saying, yeah, it's not everybody. A few units are bad. That doesn't solve the problem. So again, I'm a little confused. Is she saying there is a problem, or is she saying there isn't a problem? You let me know.
Mr. Rockefeller says, at this exact moment, Chad Chimer Paul Philman is outside Underwood Towers with a large sign demanding attention to the tower issues.
As we speak right now.
As we speak right now, we appreciate him doing that. He said on Friends of First Sky Omaha, he says I talked to Joni Poor, OHA director, back then, January 23rd, and that's when she assured me they were purchasing heat machines that were sufficient to handle bed bugs unit by unit. Never have gotten clear answers about why that plan was never deployed or never developed. I am in this for the long haul now. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Come on, Paul Philman. Out there doing the good work and talking to the people and finding out what's going on. That was a very messed up. That interview that I saw was really, I think it was on WOWT. It was a person that was trying to cover her butt, and as far as Joni is concerned, and that was, and I feel, and yes, that it was there was all kinds of things wrong with it. Tone deaf, inaccurate. Talk to Sherman Wells about how many units got some problems. Uh, Also, this whole idea of we don't get many complaints. The John Chapman, the guy who did the art, who did the news piece, says
Brother Chapman.
Brother Chapman says, the news they get more complaints than apparently OHA gets. So how is that the case?
Because people
Cheryl
afraid.
West, Cheryl West in the chat says CEO Joni Poor was fake news out of her mouth. There were approximately 50 people who attended Tuesday meeting, and they told their story, which was totally different from her story. 50 people got up and said, "This is what's happening." She basically got on there and said, "That's not what's going on the news."
It's not everybody, but what about them? What about them? Nobody said it was everybody, but what about the people complaining?
Black Zam 09 said, "I'm sure Johnny lives out in Gretna without a care in the world."
Man,
Tanaya Patterson on Friends of First Sky Omaha says OHA CEO needs to have several seats with her not all XYZ mass distraction gaslighting campaign. No substantial increases in complaints. How many of the complaints are repeated? That's a good question too. Even the reporter says how many complaints have been fielded by the news station over decades. So I know that's been after numerous complaints to the OHA and crickets. How have people not been emergency transferred from these units? The conditions seen are atrocious. Let her tell it. It's because the tenants are mentally ill and old, as if they had anything to do with the extraordinary incompetence in addressing the most severe cases, let alone the minor ones. Well said tonight, Patterson. Appreciate your comment there on Friends of. That was another part I didn't really appreciate too. She's talking about that's the only time she really mentioned the tenants. They were everybody's got drug problems and are you know what I'm saying, and elderly and got mental issues, and that's the reason why there's an infestation in the building you own. Mama God says, did she just throw in single family and duplex dwellers into the same number with larger scale residency units? How dare you play on our intelligence, skirting the real issue? That's right. OHA owns more than just the towers.
Yeah.
So I think
the projects,
yeah. And the single family homes too. I mean, I think that what's really happening here is the people are speaking up, and this time around, it's interesting because that particular channel that ran her interview showed scenes of the stuff that Sherman captured on there. They're using his footage, and you can see bed bugs and mold and all this stuff everywhere. And they're actually using that. So it's even the news article kind of is presenting this thing like, what are you talking about? People are complaining. We just sat here and listened to 50 people speaking on this subject.
Right. Mama God in the chat. Good point. She says, here's a thought. If complaints or issues are so small in scale, then why are you unable to address these few problems?
Make it go Anthony Rogers Price says, we heard from Tony Velland, sister Cammie Watkins, or have we heard from or Danielle Goodwin on these issues?
Apparently they are the 3 black board members on OHA's board. What is interesting though is they did speak to apparently the president of the Nebraska Public Employees Union, who again under the American Federation American Federation State, County, and Municipal Employees Union. They represent workers from entities like OHA. And apparently, according to this individual, OHA is short-staffed when it comes to maintenance, and they need more people to work on the bug problem. So, again, are they saying it's a problem or not? Again, Burkhalter, who is the union rep, says they're taking the initiative with the Underwood Towers to remediate it. Those are great steps in the right direction, but it does not stop at the Underwood Towers. We've had multiple complaints. So again, what Joni Poor is talking about, I really don't know. This is from Mr. Tony Burkhalter, who is again over the workers union for maintenance for OHA. And he says, we've had multiple complaints from Evans, Jackson, Florence, and the KJ Towers, Park North, Park South. All of those need the same type of attention. So again, what Joni Poor is talking about, I really don't know. Very interesting. And this is all in the same article.
And I just want to point out before we move on from this subject right now, because this is something we'll definitely be coming back and talking about.
Yep.
That this might not even be something that anybody's talking about right now if it wasn't somebody reaching out from the Underwood Towers. We gotta talk about the location of the Underwood Tower.
Dundee area.
And who the area and who's over that and who's territory, who's the legislator in that area and so on and so forth. Paul Philman's out there right now. So we talking about the Underwood Towers, but we've been talking about Evans, Benson. We've been talking about these other towers for a couple years now. And just on this show, getting a lot of press and play right now because it's in the area. It's Underwood. It's in an area that is really close to a really rich side of town.
It's a good point.
So just want to make that. Just want to pull that out. Take what you will from it. Cameron Snipes says apparently Poor did the same thing at the organization she was with before she came to OHA.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she head of the health department? Wasn't she with the health department?
Don't remember. I remember hearing the name. I don't remember where.
Yeah, I believe she was with the health department. Y'all let me know.
Cheryl Weston says the members of the OHA board are appointed by the mayor and approved by city council. The board members never say anything at the board meetings other than approve every item. That's too bad. Cammie Watkins is a friend of the show. She used to come on the show and stuff all the time.
Ran for mayor.
So, yeah, I would love for to speak to her about that. She was a very, very intelligent woman and very confident. So I'm surprised that maybe they're getting some pressure that we don't know about over there. Gwen Easter said we must make sure residents are not pushed out of their homes in North Omaha. If OHA plans to fix the problems, they need to pay for residents to move into hotels until the problems are fixed and tenants can move back in. I doubt they're going to do that, but they sure need to.
Yeah,
sure, right. Yep. Black Zam 09 says if the issues aren't that bad, why don't she move in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Underwood, is Pete Festerson and Megan Hunt's representation area. Why do you think they are attention? Right? This is my point. Yeah. Shout out to they've done some work, they've done some good stuff, and I'm going to shout out to them speaking up on it. But yeah, it is definitely getting the attention because it's in their territory for sure.
That is interesting because I'm pretty sure Senator McKinney has spoken up about the towers multiple times.
Anthony Rogers Wright is talking about Cammie Watkins. She ran for city council.
City council, okay.
And we all know why she lost. You can ask the Democrats about that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna get to the halves. It's 8:53 right now. If you believe in the concept of time and the concept of agreements, and we agreed to end the show at 9, so we're gonna definitely try to squeeze some things in there. Obviously, something that is going to continue to be talked about here. If you guys fired up big time on Friends of First Sky Omaha on this, there were several comments, several conversations going. People didn't like that interview. People didn't like where she was coming from with that.
No. Kind of picked up, the tones. Microaggressions.
OHA out here running various versions of the Carter from New Jack City.
Dang. Not the Carter.
The Carter building.
Dang. We used to go in those towers to handle, to handle some minus soul stuff. Our antenna was on top of them towers and not far off. Not far off.
That's the conditions. I got family members that lived in some of the towers. I think I can't remember which one. But family members lived in some of the towers, man. Like I said, we spent a lot of time in the towers just because of the radio thing. And it's in the juxtaposition of where I live. I live right diagonal from the towers, and my one bedroom is $1,200.
Man,
so there's a lot of weird dynamics that happen in between these two places.
Man,
that I think is really interesting. And just when I think about what happens over here, man, if I see one ant, they over here ready. If one thing gets messed up, if one They over here checking on your heat and replacing your stuff before the winter time and making sure that things is right before it get cold and everything.
Mm. It's,
That you expect the person who owns the building to do.
right. It's not the tale of two cities. It's a tale of two towers, huh?
Tell the two towers happening right here on Military and 60th.
Man.
It's going down. Speaking of going down, time for the haps.
Hey.
What's the house? What's happening? What's going down?
Hey.
Time for the haps. Let us know what you got going on this weekend. Anything good? Anything fun? Let us know what's really going down. There's a few things that's going on this. Oh, what's up, Brooke? She says have family in Florence Towers and also the one on 24th. Florence, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, definitely have, family in the towers, been to their house. I've seen family in the towers clean to try to make something happen, but you can't do nothing when there's bugs coming in from next door. It's a building wide situation. I don't care what they have to say. You don't have just bed bugs in one unit or roaches in just one unit.
No,
that's not how buildings work.
It's not how roaches work.
Hashtag roaches be moving.
Yeah, roaches be moving. So does mold, man. Again, you can't tell me it's just one unit, man. And again, the mold from the videos that we've seen, Sherman, the mold is in the hallways. The leaking pipes is in the lobby of the basement. So come on, man, stop it, Joni, stop it.
Preston Love is starting his campaign, 2311 North 24th Street, the old Jesse's place. It's the headquarters opening that's happening today. I still didn't get a time on that, but it is happening today, so you might want to check that out. You can check in Friends of First Guy Omaha, too, for some more information, or you can hit up Preston Love's campaign and find out what's going on there, man. He's running for U.S. Senate, and it's going down. He's got his new headquarters. I like that he's celebrating the new headquarters because it's right there on the Deuce. A building that's been shuttered for a little while is being reopened. We missed the Jesse's place. I got a soft place in my heart for Jesse's place. Came back in town and started playing some music there and paid my dues for a good 5-6 years in that joint.
Man,
drumming for $50 for the 8-hour gig, but making it happen because that's what it was. We was paying your dues. So I can't imagine that place without a band in it. So maybe Preston's gonna have some music. We'll see. But definitely check him out. Support Preston Love, U.S. Senate. Leadership and real results for all Nebraskans. At all. We got to ask them about that all. For real. Good time to do it, man. Pull his coat, like they said back in the day. When you get there today to celebrate the grand opening of the headquarters, 2311 North 24th Street. See what you can do about that. Also, Tech 9 is in the house tonight. This is over at the Astro. Have you ever been to the Astro in La Vista? No. Asking anybody who's been over there to check him out. He usually is over there at Sokol Auditorium. I guess it's not Sokol anymore, but Mom call him Sokol. I'm gonna call him Sokol.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it the commander or something?
It's the Sokol Auditorium. But he's gonna be in the Astro this time in La Vista. That's a new one, I believe. There's a couple of venues over there in La Vista, but this is one of the new ones. Yeah, so might want to see what's happening. Check them out if you're a Tech 9 fan.
Yeah, it's some Omaha connections too, man. A couple of cats from Omaha on tour with him. Shout out to King ISO, DJ Doc B-Box on the ones and twos. So yeah, go and support, y'all. Go and support.
That's what's up. And if for the crowd that don't want such rowdy rap music, then you might want to go check out the stylings of Miss Kathy Tyree. She's gonna be over at the Holland. If you're ready to dress up and get busy tonight, 7:30. She'll be at the Holland. Go check her out. You can go to omahaperformingarts.org and get tickets. And support Kathy Tyree, man. Legend out here. Beautiful voice too, and great show, man. Super. I get so impressed by the show that she puts on, and every time I see her, it's just like consummate professional. I just think, man, I got a long ways to go on performing to get to her level, man. It's just a trip. So definitely check her out if you get a chance. It might be a good thing to go take a date on or something like that. Do what you do. Do your thing.
Yeah, being a fair.
I'm pulling up this youth policy. I believe it's March 14th. This is happening. Yeah, so this is coming up March 14th and 15th. This is something that Chimers Snipes have put on her page. Voices for Children is put on a youth policy camp in 2 days. Hey. Learned about the unicameral. I kind of want to go just to see how to explain the unicameral to the youth. Just to see how they break it down if they get what's going on. Because we talk about it three three times a week, 2 hours a day, and still are learning things about the unicameral, how things work
Man,
over there, and talk to the actual senators that are there, and still need to learn. So this will be real interesting. A 2 day camp, 12 to 5 and 9 to 5. It'll be happening coming up here. Let's see where. I don't see the. I don't see where it's supposed to be at. 319 South 7th Suite 212. Is that where? Let me see.
yeah,
Pick
I know
up and
you be
drop
needing
off.
your
Yeah,
readers. It's
man, we need
17th.
the
Yeah,
17th Street.
319. Yes, 319 South 17th Street, Suite 212, Omaha, Nebraska 68102. So
Got it.
319 South 17th, Suite 212.
Go
Voices
check
for Children's Office.
Go check this out at Friends of First Sky Omaha. It looks like you can RSVP by hitting that QR code. It's probably too small for you to see right now, but if you got more information, check it out. Hit that. Go to Friends of First Sky Omaha and hit that QR code and register and all that good stuff. So that's what's up. Also, want to give a shout out to Kamasi Washington, who just got
Hey,
announced he's going to be here May 12th at the Slowdown. Sold out the Slowdown before, so I would get my tickets early. As a matter of fact, as soon as I get off, I'm going to try to get some tickets to this. It's kind of going down with Kamasi. If you don't know who Kamasi is, what's wrong
what's
with you?
wrong with you?
Come on with it. Come on with it. So yeah, man, Kamasi, man, awesome talent for our age, for real. The master of the craft and cool dude. Just a cool, generally
Yeah, man.
cool, laid back cat. Pops, he reminds me of Gramps. He's like he reminds me of
Okay.
Grandpa. He's real super chill. Real chill.
Yeah,
He got,
yeah,
he got
yeah.
Grandpa, he got Gramps vibes for sure. So shout out to Kamasi. I'm glad he's coming through. I wish we had the hi-fi house for him to chill at like the old
Man.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Maybe they might bring some things out of storage or something. I don't know.
Pull some records out, hang
Yeah.
out with the brother.
Set
And
up a
also,
record store.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there too, because you guys might want to think about trying to get out to the
Man.
jazz festival, man. Blue Note Jazz Festival out in Napa. It's going down. Black Radio Experience. So man, the tickets are on sale now. We went to the year before last. We were missed last year. We were talking about going this year.
Man.
But yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there because it's kind of to me it's the event of the nation when it comes to what's going on with modern black music and the
Man.
progression of jazz and hip hop and everything else. So shout out to Robert Glasper, who's doing the good work these days. And man, if you can make it, make it part of your vacation plans or something like that. Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
Man, it's
So,
definitely worth going. Definitely worth going. So yeah. And I don't know. You got any other haps? If anybody has anything, feel free to drop that in the chat. What you going to get into this weekend?
yeah, nothing really standing out for me. I'm definitely gonna try to hit Preston's thing a little later.
Okay.
Also, Kimmer put it in the chat already, but Whitney Richardson is got a birthday, so
Yeah.
we gonna get together with her at, what was it called? The Garlic Spoon? What was the name of the place?
Stuffed olive, I believe.
Oh yeah, Stuffed Olive. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah.
it said garlic spoon.
Hey
Yeah.
man, whatever the deal, some about some. Hit Kimmer up for details on that if you know Whitney and you want to go check that out. Also, I would love to see Tech Nine. I would love to see this new building, the Astro. So
Yeah,
see.
actually on that, Anthony Rogers right in the chat says great new venue. So giving it some shout outs. Yeah, it says great new venue. Saw a show there 2 weeks ago. But he says though, throwing a little caution in the wind. But if you're black, get the hell out of there once the show ends, so you don't get caught up and gaffled in Sarpy County. So there
Well,
you go.
wait a minute. Wait. Get out of there, but drive the speed limit. You don't want no Sarpy County ticket. It's the
That
worst.
part.
It's
That
the
part.
worst.
That part.
Before we get out of here, it's already 9:04. We
Yes,
apologize for going
yes.
past time, but we definitely have to reach out and say, brother Levi Blake is still missing. If you have any information, you can call Crime Stoppers now because they got a little $5,000 reward out. They just announced on, I believe it's Channel 7, and then also I think KMTV had it too. So a little reward on any information. I don't have that reward flyer, but you know what it is. You can call 402-444-4123. If any information that leads to his being found. If you are taking photos around town and you're looking on your off time and so on and so forth, just post everything on your site with hashtag Where is Mr. Blake, so they can kind of keep track of the efforts that's happening here. They're about to ramp up efforts now. They got a reward. I think they're trying to get more money for the reward. So, hopefully that'll inspire more folks to kind of go out and find out what's going on and see if we can find the brother. So, again, still missing brother Levi Blake. Please keep your eyes peeled. He has been diagnosed with dementia, and he's in his 80s, and so yeah, definitely look out for our elder. Big
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that, I think we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Unless you got anything. Oh, Gwen Lisa said Empowerment Network has their meeting tomorrow. Which meeting is that? I didn't see the flyer on that.
Hmm.
We'll find it and put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Most definitely. I missed the last one, and I don't want to miss the next one. So I hope it's not that one. But we'll check it out and see. So thank you for that information. Please, if you have a flyer or something like that, put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and let's see if we can spread the word there on that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I see Sister Tamika Renee in the chat. I remember you have your event coming up again, talking about getting into franchising for she says I'll post it now. Yeah. So again, if we have any more information, can we post that flyer on Friends of? I forget the details about that event, but I do remember it's coming up.
Yep.
So look out to Friends of. And again, if you have any more events, anything else going on, especially over the weekend, as always, feel free to drop that in the Friends of. But yeah, in the meantime, between time, I guess it is time to get up out of here, man.
Oh yeah, and violence. Okay, now I remember. No, this is not it. It is the violence. What was it called, Kimber? The Violence and Justice Summit. It's at the Swanson Conference Center at MCC. Okay,
That's the
appreciate.
Empowerment Network meeting you talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
Building 22. Yeah, check it out on Friends First Sky Omaha. We appreciate that. I'm sorry to cut you off, buddy. What were you saying?
No, I was saying just that. Again, if there's any more events and any more information that people have, any haps going on that you'd like to let the people know about, again, drop that in the Friends of. And, if you're looking for any events, go ahead and check it out there. But in the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and get up out of here, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody that's come in. Shout out to Donald Curry, our guest
Yes,
today.
yes.
If you missed any parts of that interview, please go back and check it out. And its entirety on Facebook and YouTube. Check out all the chats. There's a lot of information in the chat today. A lot of good questions. Appreciate everybody that enjoyed that piece. I see Pop says, love the financial education received today. Excellent. Thanks for a phenomenal show and have an awesome weekend. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate that. Rome's review says investing is legalized gambling. Okay.
Okay.
I think brother Mayor Sanchez believes in saving over investing. I'm kind of changing my mind about that a little bit. I think you put your money in the bank these days. It's like putting your money in the ground. You're gonna have to you gotta make it grow. Got to make it grow.
Yeah.
So saving is one part of it. Investing is another, and you can make some informed investments is what I'm learning. So we'll definitely be talking more on those subjects, man, because follow the money was a whole season for us. We're gonna keep on doing that, and try to build some generational wealth in our community in a big way. So that's what's up. Miss Erica Fell says about 15,000 if everybody in Facebook group donates.
Yeah, that's a response to earlier comments. She says if each of us contributed $15 to the reward, that will bring more attention to Mr. Blake. And actually, I do think that there's some individuals, and there might be more money available for Mr. Blake's reward than the 5,000. But I do know, as we spoke to Brother Sherman Wells, there were some issues about getting an account secured to put the money in, and Crime Stoppers didn't want to help out, and there's some other behind the scenes things going on with that whole situation. So again, thank y'all for continuing your interest in that. That is again a situation close to my personal family. So yeah, big shout out to everybody who's remaining interested in and still searching. And again, hashtag where's Mr. Blake?
Man, yep. Appreciate everybody who's their efforts out. Continuing the efforts to try to find them. So shout out.
There you
Appreciate that very much. Thank you for joining us. So we're gonna get on out of here. It is 9:09 right now. If you believe in the concept of time. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be here and be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you this morning.
Yep.
Thank you. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, for bringing all your great ideas. That collective, we talked about this collective investing in Miss Erica Feld is already throwing it in. Let's throw some more money in, $15 a piece, and up that pot for Mr. Blake. So I love it. It's already on our minds about doing some collecting, investing, and so on and so forth. I appreciate everybody's comments, and really, I felt like I really learned something today, and not just from our guests, but from all of you as well. So thank you. We're gonna get out of here. You guys take care this weekend. Stay warm today. Supposed to warm up over the weekend though, so we're in that bipolar thing going on right now. We're snowing today, and hopefully be warm tomorrow. So yeah, take care of yourselves and check on your loved ones. And we'll see you on Monday, if not before then, on some of these events. So let us know what's happening. Throw it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and maybe we'll see you out there. Meantime, between time, you guys take it easy. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red